Yeah.
You look right at it. Yes, sir. He said Neil, of course, that's Neil. Neil made that. Did you ever, had Jack seen this before?
No.
You know Tom Turpin, you knew of Tom Turpin?
No, I never knew him.
I mean, you know who he was?
Yeah.
When you say he made that the 20s?
30s.
30s. It's original Tom Turpin Yupper. Made by the old master himself. According to Dr. Batty.
Well, he's the father. Try to play it. See if you can get sound this time.
Well, see, he got the mouthpiece is cemented so he can't adjust it, and it's a little bit
too long
to suit me. See, mine
yeah.
is...
Well, I ain't never been able to make nothing come out of one of them.
But, he has discovered the technique. Mike getting good on his.
Oh, I know. All right, now do yours.
And this one?
Yeah. Kills me.
Sometimes turkeys can't resist that, and other times they don't pay any attention. And I don't think they pay attention to anything if a real turkey, they don't want to come to it.
Right.
Go to it, you know. You got, what makes any of us feel like we good gobbler killers is nothing to do with it. It's nothing to do with our ability. It's the mood of the turkey.
It's the mood of the turkey.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Right.
If he don't want to come, you can't persuade. You're not gonna persuade him to come. But the whole amount of calling, and you got to cover over that lens on that camera.
No, I don't.
Never seen one like that. But anyhow,
Digital, ain't it?
Well, that's a digital.
Mm-hmm.
That's the ones you can put on the computer and all that.
Yeah.
Whose dog is that?
That's Tom Bull.
Oh, is it?
That's a what you call them?
I don't know, but she came here and followed me down the road one morning, so he kept her.
That's what I meant. She's a stray or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a stray, all right.
Butt liquor.
But I tell you what, we'll run right to Tombo and jump in the truck and go. But you were, hey. See, if I'd had that this morning, because had you with me this morning, I probably would have killed a turkey. No, I wouldn't have, but somebody would have.
I found that the harder you try to call on these things, the
Worse it sounds.
worse it sounds and the more difficult it is to call. If you can, and sometimes after almost 40 years, I still get that.
Trying too hard.
No, you know when I'm calling a gobbler, that tenseness and that nervousness and heart in your throat and all this kind of big deal. I reckon if it wasn't, if it didn't do that, you'd quit hunting, you know. And I get dry, my mouth gets dry, and that affects your calling.
I hadn't even been. I've been, but I mean, I hadn't been.
When you're relaxed and not nervous and excited, you got a big gobbler gobbling at you off there. Well, you can make all kind of calls, but As soon as I want to make one that's real most
As soon as
important,
it gets down to the nitty
gets
gritty.
down to the wire, that's when I can mess up.
That's kids. Now I'm going to back the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Take that call up. Neil calls.
Yeah. Old brother Neil made this.
About 1975.
That's the only one he made.
Only one we know of, right? Future.
Got a good sound.
Got a throaty sound.
Yeah, it's got a good sound.
Don't choke it down.
Old hand.
Yeah, don't choke it down. Open it up a little bit more and see if you get a little bit higher pitch. Yeah, that cluck's good.
I like old Neil's collar.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
That's an old call.
You got any call you're making on these, you need to practice it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, go through your fundamental routine and how you getting that yelper. Explain what you're doing. The first thing you want to do is you want to get a single line note by drawing the area and explain that. Go through like you did yesterday.
Okay.
Open the call all the way up, without your hand like you
if you
showed
open
me.
it wide open, you just get a blare.
Yeah, but you showed me that without your hand.
Like it's
Right.
just a scream like.
Mm-hmm.
But and then of course you can change that
Mm-hmm.
by your
By your
fingers.
grip.
Just breathe in,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But you got to get the precision just right, and
Mm-hmm.
that was the hardest part, I think. And it took me a while to learn.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I tried and all, and I was trying to do like the old time, the sucking and the kissing and all this kind of stuff on one, and so. Like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like key out, slow, and then you speed it up,
Mm-hmm.
and you got it out.
Yeah. Okay, now
It's mostly lip action
mm-hmm.
and the form of your mouth, I guess you'd see in there. Of course, turkeys make different tree noises.
Now, how loud?
I've heard them make full yelp up there.
Now, how loud can you yelp on that?
Loud?
Yeah, yelp loud if you're
loud enough to make it distorted.
Well, not to distort it, but if you were going to do a full hen yelp like a hen was doing, how would you do?
Like a lost call or something.
Yeah.
I believe a turkey can hear that half a mile.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be surprised.
That's right.
Sometimes,
Carries a lot farther. All right, take that call that you made from.
ruin it.
For you,
Yeah, I think so.
do the same thing on that gun.
Should be a better caller than this one.
All right, take that call that you made for me, the Cocobolo. Is that mouthpiece about the right distance for you?
Yeah, I think so.
Do the same thing on that gun.
Should be a better caller than this one. Yeah, this is a better one than this one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I tried to make improvements.
Now, have you hunted mostly with that one that your original call, or the ones that you make with your beak? Did you somebody talk you out of the other ones, or what?
Well, this is the only one. And I've carried
Other calls like that?
some that I made. I've carried them in the woods and then ended up letting somebody have them.
Yeah.
Because every time I'd make one, I said, I'm keeping this one.
Mm-hmm.
I'd always be running behind, and somebody would be, waiting on one or
Talk you out of it.
talk me out of it. I ran into a fellow one time, and
When you are putting that call into your mouth, are your lips completely relaxed? Are you pinching them down, or are they completely
well, it
relaxed?
depends on what type of call you're making.
Right.
For certain calls, you've got your lip
But look.
is tight,
Uh-huh.
and others it's relaxed.
Right.
The
The more relaxed you go, the more rasp you get.
Yeah, and the higher pitch and more what you call it, keen sound,
Mm-hmm.
clear sound, you can do better with constricted lips. And what you're doing is controlling the amount of air. See, the sound is produced here, not here.
Right.
See, but of course this amplifies the sound. But this is what produces the sound. It's like a string on the guitar.
How many?
Boy, I'm telling you, I was so sure I was going to get a shot this morning.
What'd they do? Just got on leave, or?
I don't want to. Well, I did. The train came through early.
Yeah, well, they.
Jackie was still in the tree. Well, that didn't bother the train. They had the train every day. But after the train got through, they didn't gobble anymore. And the next time I heard one, I didn't see him fly down, and I was as close to him that pine tree yonder. And I didn't see them turkeys come out of the tree. I didn't hear them. And
That's weird.
but old hen started off over there, and then some young gobblers, and I had 6 young gobblers come walking up to me, and they came close as that rock.
Tripped over your
Well,
feet.
that's fun though.
And I said, well, at least one thing I know my camouflage is working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. Those gobblers want, and you know, the lead one, he kept. I had 4 to me that way last week down home, and I thought they were going to come and step right on top of them. And these did the same way this morning, and then 3 more came up, and one of them, I moved. I turned my head. I heard the turkey walking, and I turned my head, and it was wrong. And
Yeah.
you know, but you know, it didn't scare
No,
me. I
it
was spoken.
usually
So I
don't.
started calling. I had my gun across my knee, you know, and so I eased my call up, and I started calling. And the turkey standing right there in 15 feet of me, and it must have calmed them down. But they were young gobblers. And then on the way out, I walked down a piece and side slope and took my old lunch box out.
Yeah, I use mine a lot.
And sometimes I try to locate one at a distance. I'll yelp on that, you know, real loud, cow, 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 you know, and they'll answer. Just shock them, you know. Sometimes I'll gobble one. Well, it didn't get an answer. And I guess it must have been, what, close to 11 o'clock then. I always thought it had a good sound to it.
And they're always pretty consistent too.
And one time I was out the old gobble over on Savannah River, and I had heard a hen in there making a call I had never heard a hen make before. And of course, at the time, the box was all I had, so I tried to imitate it. It gets this real high pitch. Let me see if I can remember how it went.
Whining.
It was this one. Then real keen. And that old gobbler had marched down from me there, and I started doing that. Similar to that, but real high. And boy, the next thing I knew, he was right there halfway to me. I shot him at 19 steps.
He hadn't heard anything
He
like
was
that
in
before.
full strut.
It went in longer.
He-
You've been
yeah.
on top of
The
it.
next time he gobbled, he was right there on top of me, and I never will forget that sight. And I didn't wait for him to go out of his strut or nothing, you know. He was so close to me
Yeah.
that I just shot him right side the head. And but that's what moved him. He'd been down there. He hung up, and that's more like it. A long whine, and then that's not quite it. Want my name on that? I bought this calling probably about September or October of '62.
Turn around with it all.
Huh?
Turn on the other side.
Which way? Like that?
You must get your notches.
Oh Lord! someday.
Woodpecker's got it.
Is that a 3-inch or a 2 3/4?
It's 2
No,
or 3
that's-
quarters.
They don't make no 3-inch.
Well, what do you shoot in right and left barrel? How do you load it?
Number 5s.
Both barrels?
And you know, I think didn't I tell you that it doubles?
Yeah. Do you ever double on a turkey?
Have I?
Yeah.
Well, it
Is
fires
More than
both
once.
barrels.
Does it kill him twice as dead?
No.
Nobody kicks you twice as hard, don't it?
I have only, I've had it, so I guess the gun was doing, I had to be doing that before I ever bought it. And
They
of
don't
course,
do it all the time.
I didn't ask any question, nobody didn't volunteer anything for me. Turkey, I probably should. Oh, there was 2 empty shells.
You didn't know it.
Didn't know it.
Is it a certain barrel you pull
Yeah.
first that makes them
I
fire both of them?
I discovered that if I shoot the right barrel first, it's prone to happen. And I had a gunsmith work on it. He said, thought he had it fixed.
But it still ain't.
I got gun. So, shot 4 gobblers. Right barrel. Just like old. I always shot the right barrel first. This powder seemed like it just, I don't know, just liked it better. The 5th gobbler I shot, I had run out of shells. I had 1 2 3/4 Magnum shell that I'd normally shoot. And I had 1 old number 5 duck load that my brother-in-law had given me probably 15 years ago. Well, I had several of them. So I instead of buying new shells at the end of the season, I just put those old number 5s in my pocket. I had about 4 of them. And I said, well, I'm not going to need but 1 more shell. So I put the good shell in here and the old shell in there. And as luck would have it, the old gobbler, you know, I won't tell you how, you know how. Here he come. I mean, right down the side of the field. He flew out over my head and pitched in the field out there, and then come back across a windrow. And there he was in 15 steps. Well, when he made his appearance, he was strutting in full strut. I could hear him. So I waited, and he stepped in there in the edge of the gap there around it. And just like that, and he raised his old head up. I think he spotted me as soon as he raised his head up at the well, that was my 5th one. So I put my tag on him and unbridged the gun and took the shells out, and both of them was popped.
Darn.
The only time I was ever aware that the gun went off both barrels was up on in Lawrence County one time. And the gobbler come up to me, and I let him get too close. When I could have shot him, he was standing behind some little dead limbs that was in front of him. And I said, well, there's no need to risk that.
Cut him out of the
Because
way.
he's going to come right on. And there's some big old oak trees right in front of me, sitting right by a creek. I was right on the edge of the creek. Could have spit in it. So I knew he couldn't come around that way, see. And Jack, that old gobbler, come right in there. I had the bead on him, and I said, now I ain't gonna shoot him through them dead limbs. So I waited till he come. So he ducked his old head down, and he come on around. He got behind that big tree, and then he got behind that big tree, and there he was in 5 steps.
Oh no.
And as soon as I swung the gun around, I had the gun around there like that. Of course, it's not loaded. Had the gun to the side of the tree, and John Brown, he saw me. Boy, he said, "Put," and off he went. And I was telling these boys about the bottomlands up there, creek bottoms and all. They have a grass, some kind of grass grows in there. And the later in April it gets, the higher that grass
It
is.
does.
And he dashed off, and of course I couldn't see him, so I jumped to my feet just like that, and he flew up, and I said, pow! Rolled. And the gun rolled me. I'll tell you, shooting at that angle like this, that thing kicked me in the nose. And didn't know no blood, but it
Oh, you're
just
lucky.
about blinded me. That's the only time I was ever aware that both valves went off. And it
That's
sounded
quite
like
a load right there now.
it sounded like you'd have shot under a culvert that goes under a road. That's what the gun sounded like. One of that busted. So I said, well, I can't put up with that no longer. So